While the Buckeyes were busy winning national championships under Coach Woody Hayes, the Oval did not look like this. Ohio State, like other universities, could not take pride in its diversity. Minorities and lower-class individuals were excluded from higher education and drafted into military conflicts, yet they were continuously treated unfairly. The world we live in today is quite different, and students like you and I played a significant role in changing it during the 1960s. Hiram Evans's paper, The Klan's Fight for Americanism, and Juan Williams' Eye on the Prize, America's Civil Rights Years, opened my eyes to the pure hatred that innocent people endured because of their skin color. America became a superpower due to the economic boom brought on by U.S. wartime production. This era of good times allowed even the modest white man to purchase a car or home in the suburbs, while blacks continued to face discrimination at the polls, schools, and in public places due to Jim Crow laws. Thomas Hine describes America's newfound obsession with the latest Chevy model or colored microwave in the 1950s and early 1960s. Families were focused on themselves, not other people's problems. This intense consumerism gave rise to inflation and unemployment as wartime demand decreased and the industrial era dwindled. I grew up in the results of this decline in an all but abandoned town outside of Pittsburgh. The Supreme Court's legendary decision in the case of Brown versus the Board of Education declared segregation in schools inherently unequal. However, racism persisted, mob violence increased, and the civil rights movement was born. An influential organization known as the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, also known as SNCC, was made up of young adults, not lawyers, reverends, or other professionals. They were behind the bus boycotts, the freedom rides, and the sit-ins at lunch counters that people associate with the movement. Formed at Shaw University in 1960, this group created the image of peace against cruelty, which differed drastically from their barbaric stereotype. Birmingham's police commissioner, Bull Connor, did just the opposite. In May of 1963, hundreds of 6 to 18-year-old students gathered to peacefully march to City Hall to speak to the mayor about civil rights. Connor unleashed a reign of terror on these kids, but fire hoses, vicious police dogs, and time behind bars couldn't stop them. In fact, these students inspired others, and the movement spread. An organization inspired by SNCC, the Students for a Democratic Society, commonly referred to as SDS, was formed in 1960 as well. It served as a forum for action groups to develop their ideas and membership and was influential in anti-war demonstrations across American campuses. The deaths of so many Yankee boys in Vietnam led the nation to wonder why the U.S. was fighting an Asian war in the first place. The public was continuously told that victory in Vietnam would be quick and decisive. However, when the Tet Offensive was launched on the U.S. in January of 1968, it was clear that this was not the case. The Oval did not look like this in May of 1970 because no one was here. Things got so out of hand that the university had to end the term early. Perhaps the most notable example of this madness is the Kent State Massacre, which occurred in May of 1970. My cousin was a fourth-year history student at Kent when the Ohio National Guard fired upon and killed 4 students during a protest against the Cambodian invasion. The 60s youth grew up relatively comfortable compared to previous generations, and this enabled them to question and change the society that they no longer agreed with. In the end, it seems as if colleges that now pride themselves on being diverse and accepting were really made that way because of the students who attended them. All of this just makes me wonder what our generation will be known for. Will we use our voices to right the wrongs of our society?